Hi everybody, my name is Mark. I'm a Hofstra student and I'm also a yoga instructor. And today I'm excited to take you through a yoga practice. We're going to do about 10 minutes of seated work, 10 minutes of standing work, and about a 5-minute meditation towards the very end. We are going to start from this position, so you can come to a comfortable seat if you're not here already. And then I want you to settle in by closing the eyes and just focusing on your breathing. And to begin, just notice the quality of the breath. Allow the breath to get a little bit deeper with each one. And let's take one more breath. Then you begin to open up the eyes. We're going to come to our first stretch of the day. Let's begin with a twist, one of the 3 basic movements that we'll go over. And to lead into this twist, I want you to take the left hand towards the back of the body. The right hand's going to cross to reach the left knee. And then we're going to bring the spine up nice and straight, gently pushing ourselves to look towards or past the left shoulder. And we take 5 breaths. These 5 breaths is going to be the standard for each stretcher pose that we take. And our goal is to find a challenging position to breathe through. And to exit the pose, what we're going to do is inhale, just look forward. On the exhale, we release the arms. So if we did that on one side, we're going to do it on the other. Bring the spine up nice and straight again. Bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand towards the back of the body, looking towards or past your right shoulder this time. We find a continual push through the left hand as we breathe through once more. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release your hold. So a twist is one of the basic movements. Let's go to the second basic movement. We're going to do a forward fold. You can stay in this position. I'm just going to turn to my side to give you a different view. So to get into this fold, I want you to bring your hands in front of the legs, and then coordinating an exhale with the movement, you can start to bend forward. 5 breaths once more. Exiting the pose, inhale, look up, chest and chin. Exhale, release the fold. Next, we're going to come to the third of the basic movements. We're going to extend the body. And we're going to find this extension through what's called a cat-cow practice. To find cat-cow, you're going to shift the hands and knees so that your wrists are right under your shoulders and your knees are right under the hips. And cat-cow is actually 2 different poses. We have the extension of the spine we find through the cow, which looks like this. The belly's down, the hips are up, the chest and head's up. The arms stay straight as we move to cat. We bring the belly up, the hips curl in, the chest and head curls in. We inhale as we move back to cow, belly down, hips up, chest and head up. We exhale as we curl the body into cat. Hips in, belly up, chest and head in. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cats. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cats. And start to go at your own pace now. I want you to take 3 rounds of cat-cow on your own. Move with your own breath. An important element of the yoga practice. And I'm going to give you a little tip with the breath. It's very valuable to add pauses. For example, you move into your cat posture, exhale, pause, feel the stretch. Inhale to cow. Pause in your breath, feel the stretch. Let's take one more round. And then come back to a neutral spine. Next, we're going to challenge the body a little bit by coming to some balance work. We're going to come into a pose called bird dog by lifting up the right leg and then the left arm. And we'll gently gaze forward about 2 to 3 feet. And the gaze is actually a very important part of the practice. One of the 8 limbs of yoga is called dharana, which means focus. And focus is primarily derived through our eyes and our gaze. So you pick a spot and you gently gaze. Challenge for the final breath. Exhale, elbow and knee together. Inhale as you extend. Bring the hand down, then the knee down. Let's take 1 round of cat-cow before we move over to the other side. Back at neutral, let's lift up the left leg and then the right arm. Exhaling elbow to knee if you did that on the other side. Inhale out. Bring the hand down, bring the knee down. One last round of cat-cow. Next, we're going to come to our first downward facing dog of the day. So from this position, you can step your hands forward just a little bit. Then you bring your heels down as your hips raise up, creating like this upside down V type shape. And then once here, you can engage a technique called walking the dog, which involves bending one leg at a time. So as your left leg bends, your right leg stays straight, and you get a nice stretch in the legs doing this, kind of opening yourself up to the down dog. And the other thing we're going to use downward facing dog for is a transition point to standing. So let's take 1 more breath, walking the dog. And then on our next inhale, we're going to start to step our feet towards our hands. Once there, we're going to utilize another inhale to straighten the spine into a standing position. And the first thing we're going to engage standing is something called mountain pose. So stay right where you are at the front of the mat. I'm just going to turn to face you. For mountain pose, you're going to bring your big toes together. Your heels are apart. Let your shoulders come up and then back and then relax down. And we just stand here, closing the eyes. Take 5 breaths. We're finding a brief moment of stillness, which we're going to take next into something called the sun salutation, which is 1 breath per movement. and gets all the major muscle groups working. Let's take one more breath here. And then begin to gently open up the eyes. So we're going to make sure we're at the front of the mat. This is where we're going to start the sun salutation. So let's begin. We're going to lift the hands above the head, looking up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, looking down towards the knees. Inhale, slight bend the knees, chest and chin up. Exhale, step back and lower down, either from this position or bring your knees down first. Inhale, up, back, bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Down dog will be the only pose that we hold in the sun salutation. Take it for your 5 breaths. Either establishing stillness or perhaps walking it out for another round. Next inhale, start to step your feet towards your hands, looking up with chest and chin. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach up, 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 looking up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to take one more round. Inhale, reach up, your hips push forward. Exhale, you hinge at your hips, folding downwards. Inhale, chest, chin up. Exhale, step, or you can try even hopping back. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. For this down dog, let's really focus on pushing the upper body towards the legs, tightening the stretch. Breathing deep through. One last breath. Then you can step or hop forward, chest chin up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach up, 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 small back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now that we're warmed up from the sun salutation, we're going to take a series of poses, first on one side of the body, then on the other side. Let's take a step out with the right foot, and then we're going to turn and pivot our toes to face the back of the mat. And the first pose of the sequence is going to be a lunge, which involves having both toes facing the same direction forward. And we're going to be off the back heel just like this, and if you have more room, you can kind of like swivel it back. We're going to exhale, bend into this front knee. Inhale as we bring the hands above the head just like this. We gently squeeze our heart center upwards, and then we gaze wherever the heart center is facing. Second pose of the sequence, bring your hands to the hips. Bring your back foot down so that the toes are off at a diagonal. And this is like a really wide stance, so see if you have more room. Recommit to the bend in the front knee. And then we're going to bring an arm so that they track past each leg. And we'll start to gaze past the front fingertips for 5 breaths. And on the next pose, Peaceful Warrior, we're going to flip our arms so that the left arm goes down, the right arm is going to start to lift up, and then we're going to gaze up at the right palm. And then the final pose on this side, we're going to take the right forearm and then rest it towards the knee. As we drop the left arm, we're going to start to let it reach forward in front of the face, and then we start to twist the heart center upwards. We gaze up at the palm once more. After 5, we inhale, we come up. Bring your hands to the hips as you start to turn your toes. Let's face the front of the room to do this pose, these series of poses once more. Keep turning your back toes so that they're forward. We're off the heel. We're finding ourselves towards a lunge again. Inhale, bring the hands above the head. Inhale, open into your warrior 2 pose, bringing your back foot down, arm past each leg, gaze past your front fingers. Now the back leg is going to be straight and strong, driving you forward into the pose through the legs. The back leg also powering the arms as well. And then peaceful warrior. Flip the arms, gaze at the palm. Exhale as you bring your forearm down towards the knee. Drop your other arm, let it reach forward in front of the face. Twist your heart center up. Look up at the palm. And then inhale, rising from here. Let's start finishing up our standing work. We're going to conclude it with something called tree pose, which is balancing on one leg. We're going to center the weight onto the right foot as we start to bring the left foot to the side just like this. You might stay here, or if you want to go a little bit further, you're going to lift this foot below the knee. Or if you go further, you would grab it with your hand and kind of wedge it above the knee. We're going to take 7 breaths right in this position, gazing about 2 to 3 feet in front of you on the floor. Last breath. And with an exhale, release the hands, release the leg. Take a few steps. And let's start to center the weight onto the left foot as we bring the right foot to the side. Again, maybe staying right here, or if you go further, you lift it up. If you go further than this, you use your hand. And let's take another round of breaths. One more deep breath. And then when you're ready to exhale, release the pose. That's going to conclude our standing routine. We're going to go back to seated for a few more stretches and then finding an ending meditation. Let's go back to the front of the mat, make sure we have room to step back, Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chest, chin up. Exhale, step or hop back, lower down. Inhale, back bend. And then exhale, downward facing dog. From here, find your way to seated, whether you want to walk or find yourself into like a little hop. And then extend the legs forward. For this next pose, we're going to make like this L shape with the body. It's not quite a stretch. It's not all that muscular active, but this is more of a posture builder. Bring the hands by the side of the body, lifting up the spine nice and straight. Push out through the heels and curl the toes. And then most importantly for 5 breaths, you're really going to focus on the sitting bones, pushing down, grounding you into the floor. And now let's begin to take a forward fold. Let's take this variation where we're going to bend the knees, and you can grab under them. As you round your spine, you bring the forehead towards the knees. Take 5 breaths. From this fold, inhale, look up, chest and chin. Then on an exhale, release the arms. And let's start to balance out all the folds we did with an extension of the body next. We're either going to take a reverse tabletop or a reverse plank. So I'll show you both options. Reverse tabletop's a little bit less intense. You come up like this, take 5 breaths. Or you can take reverse plank, which extends the legs. You're trying to bring the toes towards the floor as the hips and the chest reach up. Let the head drop. Whatever you're doing, 5 breaths. And then inhale, start to bring it down. Let's take another forward fold, this time widening the legs as far as they can go. And when you're ready, you can exhale, fold forward. Trying to breathe through this tight, tight stretch now. Inhale, chest, chin up. Exhale, release your fold. From this fold, let's move into another extension. Let's extend the body through some back bending now. We're going to bring both the legs forward in front of the mat as we start to lie back. You can bring your feet down as your knees are up. And I'm going to give you 2 options for the back bend. You can either take a bridge or a wheel. The bridge is the less intense option. You bring your hips up. From this fold, let's move into another extension of the body. This time, let's extend through some back bending. So, from the front of the mat, give yourself space to lie back. And I'm going to give you 2 options to work with. You either have the bridge or the wheel. So the first option, the bridge, you have your feet down, you push your hips up like you're kicking the hips towards the head. And we would take 5 breaths. Or you could go for the wheel. So you don't have to do this. This is just an option. If you want to try it, this would be a half wheel. Your head's on the floor. Full wheel would go like this. But I'm going to show the bridge as we take 5 breaths together now.
We will take 2 rounds of back bending with only 1 breath in between sets. And that's about 5. Bring it down. Take just 1 breath. We keep the heat in the body going this way. And then when you're ready, take that second round. Either the same bridge, or if you want, you could try the wheel. And then bring it down. As you finish the second round, hug the knees in towards the chest, creating this gentle rounding of the spine. And then as you're here, you could start thinking, is there a final pose that will complete my practice? I'm going to give you a few breaths to take any final pose next, and then we'll find like the final resting meditation period. So whenever you're ready, you can begin. Start to find your final stretch. Whatever you're doing, you could take maybe 6 or 7 breaths. And then we're going to meet up lying on the back for what's called Shavasana, which is the final resting pose. And whenever you're ready, start to lie back on your mat. Faced up, close the eyes, and you can just settle in. We're going to take 2 minutes of silence. And start to gently open up the eyes, inviting some small movements back into the body. You can hug your knees into the chest and fall over to one side. Slowly take your way back up to seated. Take a moment to reflect. Notice how you're different in body, breath, and mind. And we're going to seal the practice by taking our hands to heart center. And the sealing gesture is bowing our own crown to our own heart, honoring ourselves. And then the saying Namaste means that we honor each other's light. Namaste, everyone. As we conclude the practice today, I want to thank you for allowing me to guide you through it. It's an honor and a privilege to be a part of other people's health journey. And if anybody would want to keep practicing, we do have these classes live at Hofstra. On Tuesdays, they're 7 p.m. On Saturdays, they're 9:45 a.m. Thank you all so much again. Namaste.